Who was the England manager in the 1970 World Cup? Name me 3 of the 5 countries in Europe which begin with A. Now the answer to those questions is, I don't really care. The reason I ask them is because they're trivial pursuits. So often the church has been engaged in something that people would think of as trivial pursuits. We've been asking questions nobody really wants to know the answer to. We've been discussing things nobody else is really bothered about. I think it's time for us to do better than that. That's why, in partnership with Exponential, we've been putting on these events in Manchester. Last year we gathered here in Salford Quays in Media City, and we looked at some questions of how we move from subtraction to addition to multiplication of churches. This year we're doing it again. But people said we wanted to do it more, we want to bring our teams, we want it to be in a bigger and even a larger space where we can invite more people. That's why I'm here at the Victoria Warehouse in Manchester, a fantastic transformed industrial estate unit which is going to be hosting some incredible speakers that are going to help us to think about these important questions. I'm talking about people like Lewis Palau. I'm talking about Danielle Strickland. Dave Ferguson, the president of Exponential, is going to join us again. We're going to be hosting Jossie Chaco, fresh from the Willow Creek Leadership Summit. He's planting across India. Also, Joachim Lundqvist, an incredible leader from Sweden who's planting right across Europe, all the way into Russia in various places. We have Andy Hawthorne from The Message. We have Richmond Wandera, former Compassion-sponsored child, now doing incredible work planting churches in Uganda, as well as a host of other speakers. But it's not just going to be about that kind of input. We're having a pre-con the day before, where we're going to be having practitioners who are going to help us to plan for growth. How do we go on from here and not just have inspiration, but from this we have transformation, we have change, we have plans for the future. We have incredible people that are going to be coming to this pre-con as well as the event itself. So on the 14th and 15th of November, I'd love to invite you to come along and to bring your team here to Manchester to the Victoria Warehouse. On the day before, nearby in a church plant, a new church plant here in Manchester in association with New Wine, Gareth Robinson is going to be helping us, and he's going to be hosting the pre-con where we have workshops. On the Tuesday night we're going to have a worship night right here, and this is all just part of the most fantastic week of events that's happening here in Manchester. This year's launch event is going to be about not just how can I grow more leaders, how can I reach more people, how can my team do this. It will be about how can we launch out into new ways, in new places, and reach people that at the moment aren't being reached. But more than that, this is going to be about the power of us together. I've read an incredible book recently called Team of Teams, I believe is a game changer, by General Stanley McChrystal. He was in charge of the special forces in Iraq, and he realized that the old ways of leadership, the old way that they were doing things, wasn't going to work in the 21st century. They had to be more adaptive, they had to be faster, they had to be able to change in order to make the impact and ultimately win the day, win the victory. And so he formed Team of Teams. And right at the end of the book he said the most important thing for him as a leader was that he had to do something of stepping down from himself being the hero leader into instead being a humble gardener, somebody who would create environments for others to flourish so that growth could really come. That's one of the things we're going to be looking at. Join us here at Victoria Warehouse here in Manchester in November. We're going to learn how we can, together with our teams, produce reproducing disciples of reproducing churches which become reproducing movements for the Jesus mission.